Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra Kaye, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, and it is the Demetra Kaye Show. And I want to say right off the top, we are not live. This is our podcast where we bounce ideas off of each other. Of course, we'll be back live later on at 5 p.m. Central Time. We're probably going to talk about politics because that's what's hot and popping right now, and it's what we need to be talking about, right? So nevertheless, the Demetra Kaye Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today, we're going to be talking about LULAC, a Latino organization that's been around for 95 years. Doing something very historic in endorsing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for president and vice president of the United States. Once again, they have never made an endorsement. It is a civil rights organization, and we're going to get into the ins and outs of it and why that is very significant, and potentially, if not even really potentially, but is going to be harmful to Black people. So, Donovan, how are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking. I reciprocate that back to you as well. As usual, you're looking your stunning self. And, like I said, if I can just get you to stand up and just turn around, we could get 1 million followers, but it's not going to happen because your dad's watching the show. Hey, but you guys, welcome to the show again. We are not live. We want to thank you guys for joining us. Scrolling banner at the bottom, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, cash, money orders, secret accounts, whatever you want to do, we're going to take it. But by doing that, it helps the content creator continue to make great videos. And anything that you guys can contribute will help, because it does take time, effort, and money to create these videos and these great discussions. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app, as well as it's on Google Play and Apple Store. You can see great videos from Brother Phil Scott, Vicki Dillard, Demetra Kaye, and a whole host of brand new producers and content creators on the African Diaspora Network that talk about all things African diaspora around the world. So please go ahead and do that. And also, do not forget, if you don't want to download the app, you can still subscribe on the YouTube channel to be an annual membership. So that way we can talk about our issues without having to be censored and monitored and all that other stuff. And you can do that. Go to YouTube, subscribe for the annual. To me, the annual subscription, yearly subscription, is the best deal to go for. That way you don't have to worry about your account being hit every month, because sometimes you forget and you might have over budgeted and all that other stuff. So, just put in the yearly account and do that. And you guys will be very, very satisfied with the content that is coming out there. Because I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the African Diaspora News Channel, but every now and then you will see how they keep upgrading it, and you see different things that you didn't see before, and it's getting better and better and better as it goes. Doing that. Also, don't forget the trip to Ethiopia. There's, I believe, 5 spots still available. So if you want to go on that trip to Ethiopia, 5 spots are available. So African Diaspora News Channel, Apple Store, Google Play. Go ahead and download it today. Become a member.
Absolutely. And sorry if I'm freezing up, but I'll come back. I believe y'all can hear me just fine. All right. For the sake of time, we'll go ahead and get into it. So anyway, a couple of days ago, LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens, they endorsed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for the presidency of 2024. Of course, y'all know the election is coming up this November, and Kamala is going up against that former President Donald Trump. Now, of course, originally it was supposed to be Biden. He was going to be seeking a second term, but after the debate that him and Trump had in June, it was apparent to everybody that something cognitively was going awry with that President Biden. And so soon after that, it was announced that he would not be seeking re-election. And in fact, Kamala Harris will be taking his place. Again, was not elected to do that. She, they switched, they gave it to her. It said that is not unconstitutional, but nevertheless, she, is going to be seeking the presidency. Okay. Now, back to LULAC. LULAC, again, has been around since 1928. They have never endorsed any political candidate at all. They are for their people and their people only. They fight for their citizens, citizens, their civil rights and things like that. Now, specifically, they said, we are proud to endorse Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because of the real issues facing Latino communities and all Americans across the nation. We can trust them to do what is right for our community and the country. Domingo Garcia, chairman of LULAC, Adelante PAC, and LULAC's immediate past president, said in a statement. Now, they're saying that not all of their members are Democrats, but they pretty much go off of democratic principles of the Democratic Party, right? Now, it also goes on to say the politics of hate mongering and scapegoating Latinos and immigrants must be stopped. This is what Garcia said. Now, he also goes on to say Latinos understand how much is at stake in this election for not only our community, but our democracy. Okay, so they're basically saying that they are going after, to support Kamala and Tim against Trump, because we know that Trump says that when he gets back into office, if he gets back into office, that one of the first things he's going to do is deport 1 million immigrants back to where they came from. And of course, we know a lot of those people are Latino, right? And so LULAC is saying, well, basically, Trump is going to be a danger to their community, and Kamala is not. We know that Kamala is very pro-immigration, right? And we see the policies that her and Biden have championed. Of course, we know that Trump had the borders closed via Title 42 when he came into office. Now, a lot of that was due to the pandemic, and they did not want people from other countries coming to America and spreading, the virus. And so from that point, the borders are closed. But when Biden and Kamala got back in office, they opened the borders really wide. And we know that there are millions of immigrants from all over, but a lot of them are from Latin countries that have come over here, and they have reaped the benefits of housing, food stamps, money, jobs, you name it, right? Mind you, as we have American citizens that are sleeping on the streets, that cannot feed their families, cannot keep a roof over their heads, right? It's hard to find a job, but those people that are championed and supported by LULAC, they're coming over to get that at the behest of Kamala and Biden, right? So as I heard of that, I was like, wow, well, that's really interesting, because in the past, the presidents, past presidents of LULAC, and I'm going to add this to the stage, they have not really been friendly toward Black people. Now, I know that's a little hard to read, so I'm going to find it for you to read it myself if I can, because it's hard to read on here too. Okay. So the president on my left at the top, okay, says we are not and have never been a civil rights organization. Personally, I hate the word. Now, that was Hector Garcia, founder of, it says American GI Forum, right? He's Latino. Okay, let's go to the guy that's next to him. And it says Latin Americans of Mexican descent belong to the Caucasian race and are therefore white. Right? Okay. And that was John Herrera, president in 1952. Then on the bottom left says, let the Negro fight his own battles. His problems are not mine. I do not want to ally with him. Okay. And that was Felix Tijerina. I believe he was the president of LULAC in 1956. And next to him, okay, says, I know Negroes aren't getting their fair share of democracy, but frankly, I'm prejudiced against Negroes, and I do not believe that they are entitled to everything that we get. Now, his name is not on there, but he is a Latino, okay? Clearly, these pictures are in black and white, so though that was back in the day. I'm wondering what has really had them change their minds. Again, Kamala is very pro them, right? As not only Kamala, but the Democrats in general are very pro immigrants, and a lot of them come from Latin countries. whether it's the Congressional Black Caucus, they're very pro-immigrant. Kamala is part of the Congressional Black Caucus, even though she's the vice president. And so here's LULAC with this very historic endorsement. They're going to form a pack, and they're going to have boots on the ground. They're going to try to get her and Tim Walz in office. Now, everything I just told you about their past presidents, that doesn't make anybody raise an eyebrow. Do y'all think that they care about Black people? They have said, now these have been their presidents, or they're dead now, but in the 50s, so that was like 30 years or so into their organization. Do y'all think they have changed their minds? When is the last time y'all saw any Latino, Hispanic, whatever they want to call themselves, because I know people, differ. When's the last time y'all saw them put boots on the ground for Black people? But here they are, getting behind a so-called Black woman because she's better for them. This is very interesting, Donna. We're going to have a very interesting conversation. What do you say?
Well. The more things so-called change, the more it seems it remains the same. I mean, what are we surprised by? I'm here in California, just like you're a California native. And at the city council, we recently had a group of Hispanics that met, which to me goes against the Open Meetings Act there in Los Angeles, in the city council of Los Angeles. And they were disparaging Black people in private. And they were also in cahoots of intentionally marginalizing Black communities in Los Angeles. That is something that has been recorded. It's just a fact. The one girl lost her job, but does that mean that the system that they have in place stops? No, it continues on. You have Karen Bass, a woman who is obviously of Black descent, who is now the mayor of Los Angeles. But what a lot of people don't understand about Miss Karen Bass is the fact that this was the woman that was supposed to be the lead on getting qualified immunity in the Biden administration of the promise that he said that would do. What did Karen Bass say when Tim Scott said, no, well, we don't want to do that? She walked away from the table talking about we tried. And that was it. Didn't go back, didn't continue to, keep negotiating. No, she just gave up. We tried. And we're supposed to be satisfied with that. She leaves Congress, runs for LA mayor. And guess who did she have to banter to win the LA mayorship? It wasn't Black people, because there's not enough of us in there to win anymore. She had to banter to the Hispanic community. And when other communities want something, or they have to give up something, they want concessions. We're the only group that doesn't ask for concessions. But little do you guys know, Karen Bass was married to a Hispanic man, and they have a Hispanic daughter. So right now, in real time, in Los Angeles, California, do you think the Hispanic groups having a problem getting the resources that they need? I don't think so. The Hispanic community is getting everything that they want. And I would not be surprised if she has met with some of these Latino organizations, even LULAC, and have given them certain concessions in regards to their support and all this other stuff. So what's changed? Nothing, absolutely nothing. It is not a surprise because, for those of us that know how the census works, a lot of Hispanics do identify as white. And they could be as dark as me, but they're Hispanic, they're Mexican, they do identify as white. Now, Demetra, you've traveled, I've traveled abroad, and we've seen in some of these Hispanic countries, it's very rural. They're very poor people, thanks to the American corporations that keep suppressing these people and whatever. There's not a lot of opportunities. Let's just do the math. And let's just be real about it. Because one thing I could lie, Demetra doesn't lie, but people can lie. But one thing that never lies is numbers, math. Math never lies. So let's do the math. An American worker wants a minimum wage of $25. They're even asking for more here in California. They want a $31 minimum wage. Plus benefits, plus, this, plus that, plus this, right? employer stock thing and all this other stuff. If I could bring in another group of people who don't really have a status and I can pay them whatever I want, what would you do as a business owner? You're going to go with the lower number. How many of you people know here in California, we're not new to the immigration problem. We've been dealing with it for 60 years, right? We're not new to it. Do you know we have illegal immigrants come over to California? And we're not talking about the migrants that pick. We're not talking about those. We're talking about those that illegally come over here and work. Do you know these corporations and these even mom and pop stores would rather pay the fine of getting caught with the illegal immigrants and rehire them again because it's insignificant in the money that they're making and saving in rate and labor? Why do you, let's ask ourselves, why do you think the Democrats are so pro-immigration? We know it's to spite Black people and, because our numbers aren't this, because they're exterminating us, in different type of ways economically and all this other stuff like that. They need another form of working class of people. And the best way to do it is to bring these people in here who are going to, you give them $8 an hour in some of these countries. Demetra, you were there, $8 an hour on let's say an 8-hour work week, that's $64. In some of those countries, $64 a day is a damn good wage because they know how to live within their means and all that other good stuff like that. Now, you think you have 5 in a family, that's a lot of good money. So this LULAC thing and how they feel toward the Negro crisis is nothing new. In California, and I'm going to speak specifically to California, we have the Reparations Task Force. What is the number one group fighting against the Reparations Task Force in California? Hispanics and Asians. And I think it was a slip of the tongue. There was a female Hispanic assembly member, slip of the tongue, admitted that there is an Asian and Hispanic coalition against Black people getting reparations. So this is no surprise. You guys, I want you guys to go back to a very famous poet. He said it correctly, and I don't want you guys to ever forget it. It's us against the world. Tupac, go back and listen to that. It's us against the world. No matter what goes on, everybody wants to crap on us, but they get in because we're standing up for them. And like you said, Demetra, when have you ever seen an Hispanic caucus member, a state assembly member, Asian caucus member, whatever, API member, stand up when George Floyd got choked out? How many statements did you hear? How many videos did you see? AOC, what did she say? Same thing. She didn't say anything. It's no surprise. We got to stop living in the matrix, unplug, and see the world for the way it is. It's us against the world.
Yeah, and that was like a year or so ago. The LA City Council, was predominantly Hispanic, is Nuri Martinez, Gil Cedillo, Kevin De Leon, and Ron Herrera. Ron Herrera, I think, was part of a different organization or something, but nevertheless, they were caught on with a recording talking bad about the Oaxacan civilization. They're Hispanics as well. I think they're out of Mexico as well, but they're considered to be darker skinned people, like Black, right? And they were talking bad about them, talking bad about Black people. And Nuri and a few other had to resign, right? And that was a very cushy job. If you know anything about the LA City Council, any city council, they're the power of the city, but cities such as Los Angeles, and they were just caught being mean and evil to Black people or people who did not look like them. So with all that being said, now they are going to because they're all part of LULAC, right? It's a huge Latino organization. Again, been around almost 100 years. They are now going to put their full weight, all of their might behind Kamala Harris after all I just told y'all about their former presidents and how they feel about Black people. What does that tell us? And I'm going to try not to get mad. What that tells us is that they know Kamala don't give a damn about Black people. They know that Kamala only cares about them because they have seen Kamala Biden, the Congressional Black Caucus, and every other Democrat do for their people while they show Black people their behinds. So they know Kamala don't have a problem doing that. So of course they're going to put their full weight behind her because they know when she get at the helm of that White House, it's going to be all about them. Those doors to the borders are never closed. And y'all laugh and talk about Trump and these Black jobs, whether it comes from him or anybody else. Trump is not the first person to say that Black jobs are going to be taken by immigrants. He's probably one of the last people to say it out loud, but that's just the fact. They are going to come over here. And I always tell people, if you work in a warehouse, and I've worked in a warehouse where it was plenty of Hispanics, and it's probably even more so now. We saw what Tyson Foods did. They fired all their people and brought in the immigrants. They're busing and flying them from all over the country to work there, probably for a lot less. And you know how many Black people probably worked there? It was a lot of Black people, a lot of white people, and everybody else. But then y'all laugh and y'all kiki and y'all ha-ha when Trump, listen, I'm not a Trump supporter, okay? I always want to get that straight. But what we got to get good at doing, and we're going to have this conversation later on, is let's talk about the other stuff. Because as much as some of y'all always talk to me and Donovan about, why y'all don't ever say nothing about Trump? Why y'all don't ever say nothing about Kamala? Why y'all don't ever say nothing about the stuff that she has done or not done to and for Black people? But here's LULAC, which is a powerful organization, and I will venture to say, because they've been around almost as long as the NAACP, but the difference with LULAC is they make stuff shake for their people. The NAACP is for people of color. And so they help everybody now, and even back then, but Black people. And of course, we know that the NAACP was founded by mostly white people. I guarantee you LULAC wasn't founded by a bunch of white people, but NAACP. But the LULAC is one of the most powerful Latin organizations probably on the planet. And they're going to put their full weight behind Kamala so she can do more of them for stuff for them. As she told us what? No, I'm not going to do nothing just for Black people. No, she said that with her full chest. She didn't even pause. She didn't stop. She didn't say, let me think of, I'm not going to do nothing that just benefit Black people. No, and she ain't turned from that yet. We ain't heard Kamala say, you know what? I know in 2020 or 2019, when I was running for president, I made that snide, spicy remark. I changed my mind. She hasn't done that. In fact, we don't know what Kamala's going to do because she won't, for one, sit down for no interviews. As of this moment, she hasn't had put nothing up on her website as far as policy. She asking y'all for money, though. And what we do know for a fact that LULAC is going to back her with all of their might. Do you not think that Kamala win, and if she does get in that White House, is not going to continue making sure that they're good while Black people scraping the bottom, the most homeless, the most unprotected, the most broke? Now we got some money now, we misappropriated, and that's largely due to us not being able to, start and own and operate businesses, not getting the opportunities everybody else getting. They putting their full weight behind Kamala, and I almost said a word, I ain't gonna say it. And y'all think that's a flex? Yeah, I seen some of you sisters and some of you silly brothers running around the internet talking about, LULAC, yeah, they backing Kamala. That's something else. No, it ain't, you sucker. You a sucker if you think that's a flex for us. Kamala ain't nowhere trying to do nothing for Black people. You better wake up.
Great points. Now, one thing that I understand from what you read in the beginning of this program of how LULAC feels about Black people. And I said this on a previous show that we did. And you asked me the question, and I kind of just off the cuff, just using my basic logical reasoning. If LULAC is not interested in the Black man's problems, let the Black man solve their own problems, which means they're very anti-Black. They don't want to be associated with us. They want to do their own thing, which is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But they're going to associate with a woman that is Black, bullcrap. They are associating with her because she is not a Black woman. She identifies as API, and she has always identified as API. And that's my opinion, because it would make no sense for LULAC to make those statements and to have that stance and then back a Black woman if she wasn't Black. She is API, and they know it. And again, as I've said in this program and in previous programs, there is a coalition, at least from here in California, of Hispanic Asians to keep blacks from getting reparations. So just like you said, Demetra, let's just say Kamala gets elected. Do you think she's even going to bring reparations up? Has she even spoken about reparations at one of her concerts? Not once. There's no policy. There is nothing. She's using the same speeches. This is a manufactured candidate. And now she is being backed by a group that is anti-black in its stance. Doesn't that make you think about something in regards to, that would be like the Ku Klux Klan supporting Barack Obama. Wouldn't that make you click like, wait a minute, this doesn't, one of these things belong together. One of these things ain't kind of the same. It would be the same thing. So what I don't understand with you educated fraternities and sororos and your Ricky Smileys and your Steve Harveys, yeah, be the master, all you folks, why would an anti-black organization support a so-called black person if the fix isn't in for them? Ask yourself that. I mean, Demetra, you know, am I maybe thinking this wrong or something?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And like I said, just to see us running around the internet. Oh, yeah, they do get the Kamala getting endorsed by LULAC. Like, shut up. Because you don't even know what there is to know. You just run around just because of symbolism. Do you know that's the nail in the coffin for black people? And you run around here talking about that's a flex. That ain't no flex. That's a flex for them. But we
talk
just
to anybody in California or Texas that have a high Hispanic population, and you tell me if that's a flex.
Yeah, but we just showed you. We just showed you where their own presidents at the helm of their organization said we don't care about the Negro. They don't deserve everything that we get. We're not trying to be friends with them. But now all of a sudden they getting behind Kamala, who says she's a black woman that don't do nothing for black people and is said that she's not doing anything specific for black people, but she got all these black people rallying behind her. But I'm gonna say the one good thing though is it's not a lot of black people, because a lot of us have woken up and said, no, ma'am, you're not gonna get me to back you when you have told me with your whole heart, I'm not doing nothing specifically for black people. But as I say, Trump at least had the platinum plan. He's got the platinum plan. It's not enough, but that orange man, who is a white man underneath the tan, has a black plan. And Kamala, who runs around talking about she's a black woman now, don't have a black plan for black people. In fact, I'm not going to do that, all spicy and stuff. But she talks about helping men become women and women become men. She got a partner now that's on the ticket with her that got tampons in boys' bathrooms. All the migrants could come over here and get all there is. And don't you ever forget that Kamala's parents were migrants, or immigrants, I should say. So of course she's going to be favorable to them.
Deletion of children. She's really big on that.
Yeah, but you're going to run around here talking about how that's a good thing. It's like Hardy. And like you said, Donovan, the upper echelon of black people, the sororities and the fraternities are so damn smart. And they know everything. And they're thumbing their nose up at black people and talking about how we distant you guys, and just stop it. Just stop it. You guys are fools. But yet you can't connect the dots. You can't connect the dots that organization is not trying to help black people, but see, they see a way. They see a way through, and that's the other part. And I'm going to tell y'all this. For some of y'all that got something to say about me, I'm a black woman, so I can speak to black women and about black women. See, everybody else know where they could go. They could go to that silly, hard-head black woman that they call as the Democrat backbone, right? The black woman is the backbone of the Democratic Party because she ain't getting nothing for her people because she don't care about her people. She only care about this. Okay, Miss Hattie. Okay, Gloda, you did a good job. Come back up out the closet, out the kitchen. Next time we need you to show up and wag your behind, strolling to the polls to get something for everybody else. But that backbone is really the earth bone because she don't do nothing for her own people. But the Asians, the Hispanics, gay community, Afghans, the Jews, and everybody else you can think of got the backbone of the Democratic Party to thank because she don't stop to listen to reason because she thinks she really doing something and all she care about is the biscuit droppings from the table of massa. And even that so-called black woman, Kamala Harris, winning and she getting that White House, gonna show you black heifers the dough.
But Demetra, sister, didn't you hear what Ricky Smiley said? And a lot of my fraternity friends and my sorority friends, my AKAs, my Deltas, my Omegas, all of them been saying, it's going to be historic to see a Delta, a woman who couldn't define what a woman was when John G. Brown, when she was asked, this is a woman that's a Delta. She's a Delta. Couldn't define what a woman is. But it's going to be historic, y'all. Delta Incorporated, whatever they say their little logo crap is, it's going to be historic. So you want us to vote for a woman because it would be historic for a Delta possibly to swear in an AKA as president on possibly Martin Luther King's birthday. These are educated people. That's why I'm like, I can't believe the stuff that I'm hearing, especially from a lot of my AKA friends and stuff like that. Demetra, on my Facebook page, I put up a very good question. And I asked, because this is what these people are saying. You should vote for her because she's a black woman. Okay, fine. So a black woman running for president, I should vote for her because she's a black woman. Did I not put up, if Candace, what's her name? Candace Owens. If Candace Owens was running for president, we should vote for her because she's a black woman, correct? Do you know how many of my friends messaged me and said, ain't no way they would vote for Candace Owens? I said, wait, she's a black woman. She's a black woman. According to you guys, because she's a black woman, identity politics is why you should vote. Candace Owens is an intelligent woman. She's an intelligent woman, has her own platform. She seems very independent. No different than, to me, a Kamala Harris. The difference, I would say, Candace Owens didn't sleep her way to the top. One did, one didn't. That's fine. However you get there, you get there. Many roads to a destination. But they're saying there's no way they would vote for Candace Owens because of this, and that. I said, well, if you're looking at all these other things that she has done in her past and all this other stuff, why is it that we can't do the same when it comes to Kamala Harris? Your thoughts?
I mean, I agree. They both black, both educated, both got a set of racks and a cat. They both love white men. They both are educated. You know, they both have platforms. One's in the White House. One is with white people, more specifically. So, yeah, I agree because Kamala hasn't told us why we should vote for her. She hasn't told us anything. All she's done is had concerts, and I don't care what y'all say. Don't fight with me. Fight with your mama. Okay? All she's had is concerts. That's all she's had. Y'all talking about they rallies. Hell, I show up too. I told y'all that last week. If my favorite band was to show up, I would go and I dance and sing. And as soon as they leave, I'd leave right with them, So, of course, you're going to have numbers showing up. But there is no difference. The only difference is, Kamala pretends that she's for black people. But Candace is like, listen, and I don't like Candace, okay? So don't mistake me in that. And I feel like I have to say that all the time because there's just some people who just can't think. They think because you're not saying everything they want you to say, then you must be against me. It's like, no, you need to really sit down and learn how to think, okay? Even on a very rudimentary level, just learn how to think.
And listen.
And very listen, important. You know, but Kamala's not offering anything. So how do you know that she's not like Candace, you know? But there's just a lot of hypocrisy. They don't know that the only reason they could give is because it's not Trump. And I get it. Trump is problematic, but they're all problematic. Talking about, oh, he said he's going to be a dictator. They all dictators. They have all been dictators, making y'all think that democracy is in danger. You don't benefit or have democracy. As I always say, you cannot walk into the White House and say, I don't like what you're doing. Scoot over. Make room for me at the Oval Office. I need to sit down and have these powwows in a situation room. Which you don't get to do that as an American citizen. They be like, hey, shut up. Because if you had some say-so, there'd be some rent control. There'd be some, income tax oversight as far as, the brackets and all that other stuff. You would be able to say what gas prices are. You'd have a whole lot of say-so about a lot of stuff. You can say, you know what? We want universal health care, so everybody has health care regardless of what the situation. Then you don't have a say-so because they are not listening to you. America is one of the only places, there's a lot of other ones too, but the other countries, they're coming to a reckoning. Y'all go look and see what happened in Bangladesh last week when they ran their president up out there. She had to get out there with a helicopter because they stormed her palace and says, don't you bring your ass back here because you done did enough. Because her daddy was the president and, and then he handed it down to her and she was just a tyrant, right? So, but here they tell you, you go to the booth, cast the vote, and you're having a say-so as to, no, you don't. This is one of the only countries, along with some other ones, rather, that you work for them. They supposed to work for you. But yet y'all run around here thinking y'all so bad. Y'all so tough. LULAC beginning. Y'all saw the other thing too. Some of you. Y'all put more weight and stock in everybody else. They used to say the white man's ice is colder than ours. That's what we think. Now y'all think the brown man's rice is tastier than ours. LULAC behind Kamala. Child, shut up.
Do you want to know what's crazy? They keep talking about democracy at stake, and he's going to be a dictator and all this other stuff, which is something to think about when you go to the polls, right? But why aren't they upset at the fact that not one vote has been cast for Kamala to be the nominee? Why aren't they upset at that? That has her selection, which the DNC can do because they're a corporation. They can pick whoever they want. Her selection has nothing to do with democracy. It has to do with authoritarianism. So why aren't they upset at that, Demetra? That's one of my questions. All of these sororos and fraternities and these educated people, I have yet to hear one of them, and I'm not a very educated man. I have a few degrees, but nothing significant. I have yet to hear any of these academics and these sororos and the historically black colleges that we go to that make us better than everybody else actually sit there. Cornel West, another one. Why hasn't he said anything about a woman who was selected by donors, corporations, and lobbyists? Not one American person cast a vote for Kamala Harris, and we are supposed to get behind a woman that nobody voted for.
Nobody voted for it all. And apparently everybody got amnesia. Now she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But just before she got the nomination, per se, everybody wanted her and Biden to go. In fact, she had some of the lowest polling numbers for vice president in history. Now all of a sudden she's just raving good.
We're going to cut you off. How do you get lower voting numbers, polling numbers than Dick Cheney? How do you do that?
And he shot somebody. You know what I'm saying? She's a dingbat. Now, of course, let's not be dishonest. A lot of that has to do with her being the so-called Black woman, right? There's a lot of racists out there that deem her to be a Black woman, and they just don't want that. But now all of a
And a lot of
sudden,
misogynists like myself,
that,
you know,
put
you
that
have a
in
lot of
there as
misogynists
well.
out there. I don't believe in women leadership like that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, add all of that in there. But from my opinion, she's a dingbat. And I mean that in the most respectful way. But people don't care that she's a dingbat. And again, we've seen what happened when we just get, especially from a Black American point of view, just all they need to be is Black. We tried that out with Barack Obama. We tried it out twice. And look what him being Black did for Black people. Absolutely nothing. And he doesn't care. He is unapologetic that he kicked Black Americans in the tailbone. He was the first gay Black president. Not that he was gay, but he did so much legislation for the LGBTQ community. That's what they called him. He did DACA, helped everybody else, but us, well, I couldn't because I didn't want to make everybody else mad, right? And so why do we honestly think Kamala's going to be different? In fact, they called Kamala Obama 2.0. So if in that she is Obama 2.0, ain't she going to do the same thing that Obama did to and for Black people, which is absolutely nothing specific? Like what point do we as Black people say, okay, you ain't going to keep getting us? Like this has been over 60 years of us being duped by the Democratic Party. And we've seen every other community make strides because of our vote via the Democratic Party, and somehow we think things are going to be different. We're the only community that's told, oh, give him a chance. We got to get Trump out and we can't let him go back in the White House, and then we can hold Kamala accountable. Does she look like the type of chick you can hold accountable? No shade to her, because I don't really even like to go there. But that woman was running around with somebody else's man. Sounds like a few times. Do that sound like she is able to be held accountable? What do you think you're going to be able to say to Kamala when she get in that White House, when Ketanji Brown Jackson administers the oath to her? What do you think you're going to be able to say to her to change her mind? Kamala, we want reparations. Oh, well, since I'm in here, hold on. Let me go turn my greens off because I don't want them to burn. Okay, what were you saying? Oh, reparations, bet. Let me go on into the White House and let me in the Oval Office and let me go sign. Do you think you're going to be able to change her mind? You a fool if you really think that you would.
Say it again, and keep saying it. But Demetra, when are we going to learn? I mean, when are we going to learn? I mean, the new Black media has been sounding the alarm on these issues and things of that nature. Now, in regards to our Hispanic brothers and sisters, they don't speak up for us. They move into our communities and they assimilate in our communities and they form their own communities and they move us out, which is what it is. And they've taken all the resources. I mean, right now under Democratic policy, right now, as we even speak, when these migrants come here, they're not moving them to Martha's Vineyards. They're not moving them to Beverly Hills. They're moving them into the Black communities. And, the sad thing is this is being done by major city Black mayors that are allowing this stuff to be done and unlimited resources that they're getting. But when it comes to us, we can't get anything because we don't have a social security card. We don't have all the technicalities to keep us from getting whatever. But again, like I said, I'm an aviation person. You can't get on an airplane without a real ID card or a passport or something to verify you. But yet these people could get on a plane in the United States and go wherever they want to go. And there's no vetting. You don't know who this person is. You don't even know if that's the name they give you is their real name. But we're letting these people come in here. But as far as LULAC goes, and I can understand where they're at. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I can kind of see where they're going with that because as a California resident and somebody who's in Texas as well, that when these people get supervisor positions or they get in a position to where they can HR positions, they do everything they can to undermine anybody that's not like them to put their own people in. And they work together to do what it is that they do. And slowly and systematically, they take over that institution and they get all the money. I'm going to give a good example. My city that I live in, Moreno Valley, California, the biggest FBI bribe, the biggest bribe in FBI history of an elected official. In my city, I FOIA'd, Freedom of Information Act, a request to see how many Black contracts are with the city. In the city of Moreno Valley, do you know how many Black contracts we have here? 0. The maintenance of the parks, all contracts, Hispanic. I would say 80-something% of all contracts to the city of Moreno Valley is Hispanic. Now, I know you guys are saying, well, it sounds like Moreno Valley, that's like a Hispanic city. It wasn't a Hispanic city. This was a military town, mostly Black and white before the base downsized. This is how it operates. The contracts are going to them. They elect their people. In this town, if you are white or Black, you cannot be elected. And if you are elected, you're selected. You aren't elected, you were selected. And that's the way it's going. And this is why we have to do better as Black people to vet these people. If they are not going to go in there unapologetically and fight for us, they got to go. Good example, Jimbo Clyburn. Have you heard of anything from Jimbo Clyburn since his good buddy Joe Biden dropped out? Isn't this amazing? He's all on TV when his buddy's running and he's going to be, I have no idea. I got the pulse of what's going on. I have no idea that Black people will save democracy. I talked to my granddaughters and they said this. That's why I know. All of that cooning, and now he's nowhere to be found. Just like that Tiffany Henyard chick, she disappears. These people are nowhere to be found to be held accountable for leading the flock astray. They don't want to be held accountable. And what do? Forgive him, Lord. They know not what they do. We're going to forgive him and let them come back into our community. But you won't let Omarosa come back into the neighborhood. You won't let so-and-so come back into the neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's just lunacy. People that really have no control over our destiny, we shun them and you stay out. But the people that can make a difference and can actually do something for us, we let them take a dump on us and we say, more, please, more, more, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we're not going to go a whole hour because I was like, but because we'll be back at 5. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is not a flex, y'all. Black people, this is not a flex. That LULAC that's backed Kamala. That doesn't mean anything. That's not significant. And that Kamala is going to go and save the country and all this other stuff. They know that she will do any and everything because she's already doing that for their people. They are about their people. Now, they did say in, the rest of America, well, the rest of America entails us. We want reparations. Where is LULAC in saying, well, Kamala, since you're going to go for us and we're backing you, historic, we've never done it before. We know Black Americans have been asking for reparations due to their ancestors being on those plantations and Jim Crow and the stuff that they're going through now. Won't you go and get them a checky check? They not asking for that because they know Kamala ain't trying to give it to us. Kamala, as I said, and y'all can be mad if you want to, as I said, fight with your mama, not me. I don't think Kamala likes Black people. I think she is tolerant of Black people. I think she understands that she needs the Black vote to move forward into the White House and all this other stuff. But past that, Kamala has not done anything specific for Black people, but Biden has it. And then we don't claim that hip hop holiday, Juneteenth, Black people were already celebrating that. So that's low hanging fruit. That's not something that actually has us spend more money, right? To celebrate, but we're not getting any checks or anything like that. So y'all think about that while y'all running around here ski-weeing all over the place with Kamala thinking that's a flex. It is not.
It's actually our demise. I mean, because like I said, for them to back her, she had to give them concessions, and I'm very sure she did. But before we get out of here, for those of you guys that don't know, breakdancing was in the Olympics this year. Okay? Now, I think it's very telling when not one person of color, Black, from America, was not in the Olympics representing the break dancing category. Was there one? Well, the point is, what I saw in that Olympic category, it's appalling how they are playing in our faces and acting like hip hop and break dancing is a joke. At the competitors that they had there, it was ridiculous. So what I need you guys to do, all you B-boys and B-girls, go get those Kangos out of the closet, get those Adidas suits, okay? Get your Pumas on, your suede Pumas, all that other stuff. In 2028, the Olympics are going to be right here in Los Angeles. You can bus here if you're on the East Coast, whatever you need to do. We need to show them what real breakdancing and hip hop is. I don't care if you got a cane, whatever you need to do, you gotta come up and represent. Because I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But real quick, Demetra, what was your thought on that?
I thought it was funny. I knew about it for a while, a couple of months, that who the team was. I think it was one brother, and the rest are Asian.
Syrian went out there. She was there. Syrian was out there.
Yeah, I saw that she was there. I said, why didn't she, try out? Hell, I ought to try it out. I used to break. I used to be a break dancing, pop, lock, and all of that. Like I said, I got a mean Romeo flex. I can run real good. I can windmill. I got a mean upright. I mean, I could have did
turtle. Do a little turtle.
If homegirl was, I could have got a gold medal for real. Like, y'all think I'm playing? I used to do all of that. And your cousin Ben, he blocked me on Facebook. Well, yeah, that's a whole different story. But he was my hip hop instructor. I'm like in my 30s, and he was like, okay, when we was doing a routine, because I used to perform, kid you not, I was a hip hop teacher as well. He was like, I need you to do the run. I'm like, you want me? Do y'all know what a run is? That's when you got to get on the floor and you run, on the floor, and then you get up. And I was like, okay, bet. I did it. I was like, none of these younger kids could do it. So I did it. But I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, what the heck? I already knew, and I knew this was going to blow up. I just didn't say that because I don't want to be that person complaining, where the black people, but that originated with us. And I'm going to put the Puerto Ricans in there because they was there too, right? During the, all of that, Poppin' Taco, I don't think he's a Puerto Rican. I think he's Hispanic, from the West Coast or whatever. Crazy Legs, Mr. Freeze, the Puerto Ricans or whatever, of course, our Grace, and even Tony Basil, a white woman. She was there with Shabba-Doo and Rerun and all, like, for real, like the original poppers, right? But I'm like, where y'all get the Anaheim, Asians from Anaheim? And then that Australian lady, the cold party is about the Australian break dancer, and we're going to call her that lightly. She probably gonna get all kind of endorsements. I saw an article from CNN talk about those brave of hers, like, to do what? F up the rotation, Donovan, they're not even gonna have it next time. They said they're not doing it again.
I know. Isn't that sad? And then the thing about this, it's an artistic art form. It is an art form. But how do you judge an art form? It's subjective.
But so, why didn't they have the greats that are still around? Boogaloo Shrimp. I'm friends with him on Facebook. If I'd have known that, I'd be like, hey, yo, you need to be in Paris so that you could judge. I mean, come on, Boogaloo Shrimp is still here.
And another thing that really bothered me from what I saw was they weren't even dressed properly. It's like, what is this? I mean, they were dressed like, like they were going to do a Sunday brunch. It's like, if you're going to be a break dancer, we had uniforms when we were coming up. You had to be in your sweats.
Your bandanas, wear your chains.
Right. Where's your name on the back or whatever your team, you know what I mean? I was like, where's their uniform?
Parachute pants.
Right. Where's your uniforms? Team USA, bam, and where are you calling out Israel? France, you got your uprock crew, all of that. I didn't see any of that. I was like, oh my God. So it's unfortunate, but maybe we have to do a write-in campaign to get it back for 2028.
Nah, they just need the white folks. You just stay the hell away from our stuff, okay? Because y'all didn't do it right anyway. Y'all had all kind of foolishness going on there, okay? But anyway, we love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We have ways to donate to the channel. If you guys see fit to do that, we will be grateful that it did. But we'll be back here at 5 o'clock Central Time, keeping in line with politics. We're going to have a live conversation. As I said to you guys, I know a lot of y'all are kind of feeling a certain type of way that I'm not able to read all the comments. I really wish that I could. But I will read as many as I can, as there's a lot of us showing up. So the Demetra K show is growing thanks to y'all. But in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your afternoon, and we'll see y'all in a few hours. Peace.